Hey there, this is Lawrence. So today I want to talk about Visual Studio Code for developing D, for developing in D. And there's been a lot of complaints on support, you know, of the programming language, in any of the mainstream text or code editors. And I want to look at Visual Studio Code because I believe it is one of the code editors with a really good, a fairly good support for the programming language. So let's look at how it works. First of all, you want to go into Visual Studio Code and click here to open up the extension, pane, and then you want to search for dlang, and the one you are looking for is this one, the one with the web freak on it. You can see the Visual Studio like logo on it. So web freak is what the one you are looking for, and you can see there's another one too, right, which is a more like an extension pack, and you can see it contains several extensions for the development. So you might as well install that one too. And it contains, as you can see from the readme, it contains the Kodi, the one above here, which I have already installed. It also includes native debug, a debugger, I think GDB, LLDB, and Mango MI, and some other tools, right? And then there's GitLab. So I think it was set up to be a pack, to deliver great experience for developing this. So once you click on install, it should be good to go. So I want to show you the functionalities available in the Kodi extension for Visual Studio Code. The first one I want to look at is it provides syntax highlighting out of the box, and then you can see the syntax is very well supported and it's really featureful, right? So the first one you want to really look at. And before then, once you go to the Kodi GitHub repository and then you navigate to the wiki, you can see a list of features supported in Kodi, right? So I'm going to take you through, the features available real quick, just so that you get to see how they work in Kodi. So let me dock it to the side and take you through one by one. The first one is a full DAB integration, right? So DAB is very well supported in Kodi, and what you want to do is to open up the side pane. By default, it should open the code available in your repository, but then if you let me collapse this one, if you look at the sections here, you can see Kodi here, and it basically supports installing packages from DAB, which is the package repository for D. So once you click on the plus symbol, it will open up a dialog and load all the packages available in the DAB repository. And really all you need to do once it's loaded is to type the name, right? So I can type request, which is an HTTP FTP client for D. Once I click on it, it will be installed. You can see from the that was pretty quick, but you can see from, let me install another one. Let's say vibe D, which is a web framework for D. You can see from bottom here that it is being downloaded, so you can, so that's how it works for installing the packages. And once you have it installed, I think you can right click and remove or update to the latest version. So all of them are supported in Kodi out of the box, right? And let's look at the next one, syntax highlighting for D. So you can see the syntax is very well supported. Imports, function declarations, and then comments and all of those things you would want, right? You can basically, the usual Visual Studio Code shortcuts, all of them work in this. So you can press Ctrl and / to comment. Basically, if you are if you know how the Visual Studio works, you can see it all works in the snippets. I think a snippet is the kind you use to, like, if you want to create a main function, like main. I think if you look at, you can see it's also, it has inbuilt support for snippets using and then this one generates the void main function. And there's more like a main that returns an integer. So all of them are supported out of the box, and that's for code. The next one is autocompletion. Okay, so about autocompletion, you once you have, and it's supported for both you know functions you define yourself, and also functions from the standard library. So let me show you. I have even numbers here, so when I even numbers, you can see it's very well supported, and then it also show you the function signature. Okay, so it works. And also, like, if you want to import certain modules from, so let me see, std.read, readf, they are all supported. So basically whatever package you have in it is going to be supported out of the box, especially the standard library, right? So Kodi has pretty good support for it. And the next one is what? Yeah, for dap.json files too, right? So I have a dap.json file here, and let's say I want to add a target. Once you type, it has auto completion for the dap.json file too, right? So if you are configuring your dap.json file, you don't really have to memorize everything, because there's autocomplete support for it, and it's pretty good, right? So let me look at target name. Just either press tab or click on it, and then it will open up, and within the values supported are also supported out of the box. Let me look at it. Value library. Oh yeah, no, let me look at it again. Target type, sorry, that's what I'm looking for. It can be executable or library. All of them are supported, right? So in case you are developing a package for the dap repository, you should be looking at making it a library, which means it cannot compile to an executable. So that will warn you if you are trying to make it that way. Or if you are writing a normal D program, you can choose an executable or dynamic library. I mean basic dap stuff, right? If you go to the dap repository, you should be able to see read more on the dap configuration. So Kodi support auto completion out of the box. And what else? SDL files, right? So this is dap.json, but they also support dap.sdl files for configuring your dap projects. And I think it has support for vibd too, right? So we imported vibd. So let me see. Let me go to my name. Import vibd. What was vibd installed? Let me check it again. Yeah, it's installed. Import vibd. There's no vibd.d. Yeah, it's vibd.d. Yeah, so it's a little bit problematic sometimes, but yeah, it's supported. Let's look at the next one. Die templates. If you are sorry, it's vibd die templates, right, instead of the vibd models themselves. So by the way, there seems to be trouble with imported installed packages auto completion for them, and I think that is still a work in progress. And the next one is GUI editor for .json files. Let me try that one. I've never tried it, so open my .json file. I believe it's somewhere here. So, okay, so you can see there's a way to convert your file between dap.json and dap.sdl file, right? I don't want to convert mine to but you can see it from here. So if you are comfortable with dap.sdl, you can click on it to automatically convert it to that format. And see open changes. Yeah, I think that's the gate integration. And then you have what am I looking for? Yeah, so this is it. This is what you are looking for. Once you click on it, okay, I think there was an issue in the repository that due to an upgrade in Visual Studio Code's API, that one is broken. So I would say it's a more of a work in progress. Basically, it provided you with a GUI to do it instead of entering it in the dap.json file manually. Let's go on finding global symbols, like I believe it has to do with global symbols built in yeah, that's a little bit confusing. Let me continue. The next one is yeah, go to definition is also supported. I want to show something else. Yeah, formatting with D format. Okay, so D format is a package that allows you to auto format your D code. So let's look at this one. For instance, if I do it this way and I click save, I save it the file, right? It will auto format based on the D's coding style, official coding style. So it works basically for everything, right? Okay, let me do it this way. Say I don't format my code well, right? Number is equal to 10 2, sorry. If number to right line, yep. So just to show you sample code, once I save it, it will auto format it, and it works pretty well for a lot of things, and it's very smart at it. So big ups to D format for that. And then there's outline, right? You can see from the side, let me collapse this one, and then from the outline you can see the outline of your code, right? So you can click on any function, jump into this function from the basically once you have a very long file with a lot of code, it is quite handy to navigate to a functions definition real quick. And you can do it from Visual Studio Code. I think when you press Ctrl R, right, you can also type the name of the function even, and it will jump to it real quick. So that's supported out of the box. And lengthen, right? So you can see from here, you can say this function has no documentation, right? And it's undocumented. And I think once you don't use a function, so let me comment it out, it also reports that the function is not used. Oops, not this one, right? Undocumented, I think there's one for unused. Undocumented, it also do report unused, like never modified, or is could have been declared as a const or immutable. So it provides you with some of these lengthen rules, and they are all coming from D scanner, right? It scans your code and provide you with handy tips. So it's saying I can turn this one to immutable, so let me do that. immutable, right? And then it stops complaining. So static linting is supported. Dynamically showing compilation error. So let me do this. Number is equal to hello. It's going to complain, I believe. That is expected to have a, it basically means the equal sign is missing. Yeah, so that kind of syntactic errors are reported in code. Oop, it doesn't do static type checks. Yeah, I guess that one is also a work in progress. The next one is let me read it again. Dynamic showing compilation errors by invoking that without it. Yeah, I think this one is you have to turn it on by default because it uses a lot of memory. I think I read from the documentation that basically it tries to compile your code and give you real-time error messages, so it's going to consume a lot of RAM. So I believe it is turned on up by default. Yeah, so and that's how it works. And then building and running and debugging project from VS Code. I think I will do a separate video to talk about the debugging experience, but then this video is more about the other features. Yeah, showing GC calls, instant running DSOs using RDMD. Yeah, so I think a lot of things is supported out of the box, trying to figure out. I believe you can switch compiler here too. Yeah, so it's very featureful, and then I think there's also support for auto. And then once you click on the link on the GitHub repository, it will take you to all the let me open up the window. Once you go to the GitHub repository, code D, and then you scroll down, this is what you are looking for, right? The features. If you click on more, and by the way, it says it's also available in Atom, right? Never tried it. It's been a while since I used Atom, but yeah, it will take you to the wiki page, and then you can look through the features. And then once you click here, right, it will take you to a page talking about the other features available in D. And you should know, it's quite, he shows some, basically some gif of how it works. So you want to really check that one out. Yeah, so I think this is the global. This is what he meant by the global something. Let me look at it. Yeah, it should be the symbol. No. Yeah, I think he said something about the global symbols or something like that. Yeah, so basically it's supported. It's more like what you get from the by pressing Ctrl R, right? So that's pretty much it. Visual Studio Code works really well, and for what I use it for, I think it's pretty good. And I think the debugging experience is still quite work in progress, but then for most use cases it's pretty solid. So yeah, that's it about Visual Studio Code. Let me know what you think from the comment, and probably what your issue is with Visual Studio Code. It will be interesting to know. And the last one I want to talk about is like you should really try and file issues in the GitHub repository if you are facing any issue. And the maintainer is quite inviting. He really provide good support. Once about Jan, right? he does pretty good at responding to issues. So you should try and do that if you have issue in Visual Studio Code. So that will be it. The video is already getting long.